Hey guys, let's start the review with an unusual lighter in the shape of a weapon. It's hard to guess what exactly they wanted to depict here, but it looks like a 19th century musket. The design of the lighter is quite detailed, which is a plus. But that is not the most interesting thing. The musket is not as simple as it seems and has a real bayonet knife. I wonder if it has a purely decorative function or if it can even be used for its intended purpose in hiking conditions. Let's find out. Let's start the test with a small rope. And it turns out that the knife really does cut much better than it looks at first glance. And now, to prevent the rope from unraveling, it can be burned with a lighter, all at hand. By the way, it has a red flame, which is also quite funny. While we're at it, let's raise the stakes and try to cut something bigger. The gauntlet will work best for this mission. All in all, we have a ruined glove and a slightly damaged hand. By the way, another interesting point. To prevent the knife from folding inadvertently when you press the button, there is a special lock. And in the opposite direction, the lock also works to prevent the knife from opening accidentally. In general, everything is ergonomic and well thought out. Well, the toughest thing we want to test with a lighter knife is the ability to cut the rope. Not really cut it, we ended up sawing it. And then we sawed it over and over again. It takes a long time, but it's a realistic task. So we conclude, the knife has confidently proven that it is not here just for beauty, but also a functional thing. And there is another functional thing in this box. It is a carabiner with a built-in lighter. The first thing you notice is how well it is made. All parts are made of metal, which speaks for reliability. The lighter itself has a spiral that acts as a heating element. And the design, a solid branded box, just like an expensive watch. By the way, it contains an additional heating element, and under the holder there is a USB cable for charging and a key to replace the heating element. However, to us as non-smokers, this arrangement of the lighter's fire seems not quite successful. Let's see if it's possible to light the paper. The roll smolders but does not want to burn. Also, the spiral stops heating periodically when you leave it on for a long time. So there's smoke, but no fire. Okay, let's try thin paper, but it only smolders, not glows. On a camping trip, such a lighter is only useful if you have lost the box, but there are matches. At least there's something to light. Now let's test the quality of that carabiner. Just the right opportunity. We unhook the carabiner and attach it to the leash of an alibi. And from this position, the product does not cause any complaints. For walks with a big dog, the carabiner fits well. And now the device has a bigger task. The situation is as follows. There is a car that has not been driven for a long time and has already had time to collect a little dust. And the problem is that the battery is dead and the car needs to be towed. We screw in the towing bolt, attach the carabiner, and then attach the rope. As you can see, Misha is eagerly awaiting the result of the test. And it works! Have you ever seen a lighter that can be used to tow a car? The system works, a really cool result. But the joy didn't last long because the carabiner gave up. It lasted in one piece, literally, about 20 meters, and then it broke apart and then completely shattered. This is a pile of spare parts left as a souvenir. It cannot even be repaired, so everything is bent and broken. What's the bottom line? The lighter is no good, the carbine is no good. The box is cool, and that's fine. And now we have another weapon on the line. The picture on the box looks flashy, but does it match what is inside? As it turns out, not really, but this lighter feels like a gun in your hand. By the way, there are two muzzles at the same time, with two types of flame. If you just flick the wheel, nothing works. At the top is the throttle switch, which has to be set to the on position. Pressing the trigger activates the turbo mode, and when you release it, the regular flame burns. Pretty cool, and the fact that all parts of the design are made of metal, except for the plastic handle. Let's see if the autogen mode is suitable for wood burning. So we managed. I hope you will also manage to put a like under this video. It will definitely take less time than wood burning the word. And we're moving on. We've got something really unusual coming up. This is the smallest lighter in the world, at least that's what the manufacturer claims. You can compare its size to a matchbox. By the way, this lighter is gasoline-powered, which is definitely a plus considering its tiny size. You just have to flick it once and the flame appears. Definitely a cool thing. You can even hang it on your keys to keep it handy. The next is a lighter in the shape of a burner. According to the manufacturer, it is super powerful and can melt anything in its path. Now we are going to check how true this information is. But first, a little visual inspection. There are two controls on the body of the lighter, the lock and the gas adjustment. First, let's see if the lighter burner can at least handle foil. We start to burn. And in the place where the fire is directed, the foil simply burns. It's funny, after the thin metal layer is burned off, only a transparent base remains. The effect of the lighter on the foil looks incredibly beautiful. The conclusion is obvious. We need something cooler than foil. And here is a more difficult task: to melt aluminum wire. Will a torch be able to do it? We have to wear gloves. Nobody wants to get burnt. We clamp a piece of wire into the pliers and go. So far, it is hard to tell if it will melt, but the power of the flame is so great that it is already very hot. In the end, it took about 30 seconds to heat up the wire, and it literally started to melt. Melting aluminum is cool, of course, but we have a much better idea. For its realization, we will need another lighter. It should be noted that it came to us in a branded box. Well, and the device is also made in the form of a burner. The package includes a stand and a protective cap. You can immediately see how well it is made. The rubberized grip sits well in the palm of the hand, and the top, where the functional elements are located, is made entirely of metal. In general, it looks cool even when it is not working. Since the lighter comes from China, it should be empty according to international shipping rules. So before you can use it, you have to fill it up. And now that it's refueled, let's test it, or rather compare it to the previous lighter. The first thing to note is the principle of operation. The previous lighter only burns as long as you keep the button pressed. With the new one, you can turn on the gas supply, light the burner, and it will melt without your participation. Let's compare the flame power of the two lighters on empty tin cans. They both melt well, but you can see right away who is the favorite in this contest. When the first lighter burned only a small part of the can, the second one melted a huge hole. And in both cases, all that was left of the metal was slag, which can be easily pierced with a knife. The can experiment demonstrated the power of the second torch more clearly. Time to raise the stakes. Let's find out if this burner is powerful enough to melt glass. An ordinary light bulb will do the trick. Screw it in and start the melting process. It is very convenient that you do not even need to hold the lighter in your hands. After a few seconds, the first bubbles of molten glass appear. And after a while, you can see how the bulb begins to lose its shape. In the end, the burner has melted a hole in the glass, and the electrodes inside have begun to glow. Now let's change the point of the fire. You can see the glass becoming viscous. Let the glass cool down and we can look at the results. On the bulb, it's easy to estimate the power of the lighter, the burner. That's all for now. Bye-bye.